is this: Ananyaschintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamiham. Uh, I didn't copy the translations. Somebody like to read, or should I read? If you have read it, can raise the hand. Otherwise, I am reading. Okay, I'll read. So this is Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate. What happens? Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam. To them, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So, Krishna is telling about here those who are doing Ananyas Chintayan, those who are uh, having no other object other than Krishna, fully focusing. Chintayan means concentrating. And on whom? Ma. Krishna is saying, on me. So, ye jana pariyupasate. They actually are worshipping properly. These are the person who are worshipping Krishna. With pinpointed, no other object, just thinking about Krishna. So, for with such person, uh, what how Krishna reciprocates? Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamiham. So whatever they lack, Krishna personally carried, and whatever they have, Krishna preserve it. So this is uh, not something kind of a business deal, but this is a reciprocation from the Lord. So Lord is very happy that the devotee who is completely dependent on him is constantly thinking of the Supreme Lord, and therefore Lord takes it as a first priority for him and reciprocates with him. So we see this comes in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotees like Shrivas Thakur, who was so completely devoted and dedicated, completely thinking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only, even to the degree that his own son died, and he didn't stop the kirtan, because he said if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's kirtan is going on, then nothing is inauspicious can happen in the whole creation. So you all keep mum, and once the kirtan is over, then we'll do the needful things. So to that degree, he was completely absorbed. For a father, it is very, very difficult to have such a detachment towards the son and have such attachment to that Supreme Lord. But Shiva's, by seeing his such a complete attachment and dedication to the process of Harinam Sankirtan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself asked him one time, he got a question. He said, my dear Srivas, how do you maintain yourself? When you are a grahastha, how do you maintain yourself? Uh, and Shiva says, my dear Lord, he just clapped 3 times. And he said, uh, before clapping 3 times, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what does it mean by clapping 3 times? He said, Maharaj, my dear Lord, I have full faith that if I need anything else in my life, and I will just clap 3 times. Before that it doesn't get fulfilled, I will just drown myself in the Ganges. By seeing that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the situation may come that even the goddess of fortune may go door to door and beg, but you will not have any scarcity in your life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately reciprocated with his devotion. So that is very amazing way of reciprocation. So is it that the Lord reciprocates only with the pure devotees like Srivas and doesn't reciprocate with us? No, it's not like that. It is the reciprocal relationships. To the degree one reciprocate, to the degree one surrenders to the Lord, to that degree Lord reciprocates and protects also and preserves also. Uh, so we see Srila Prabhupada also going to America. And after going to America, while going, he had only 40 rupees. And when he traveled all around, and he wanted to perform devotional service and distribute devotional service. That is the only goal Prabhupada had. Ananyascintayanto mam ye jana paripasati. And then whatever Prabhupada needed, Yogakshemam Vahamyam. So whatever Prabhupada needed devotees to help him and assist to grow his movement, to spread Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada sent him, Lord Krishna sent him hippies in the beginning. And those hippies became so transformed that they became such a illustrious example for whole world to follow. And today also we are talking about those hippies, those who got transformed. Because it's such an amazing Prabhupada had a sincere desire to preach Krishna consciousness. So Krishna provided extreme examples which can shine and which can bring amazing glory to the devotion service and glory to Srila Prabhupada also, because he took that risk and he really loved Krishna so much. And then Prabhupada was in need of the resources in terms of the temples. In the beginning, Prabhupada had to struggle so much to build a one temple in New York City. He was writing so many times back and forth with uh, our him, uh, Padampat Singhania. Just 1 minute, Prabhuji is calling me. I'll just respond to him that I am on call. Hare Krishna.
Yes, please audible.
Okay, audible, na? Yeah. So some important service was there. Uh, I got lost in that. Where we were, somebody can recollect.
Padampat Singhania.
Thank you. So Prabhupada needed temples, and Prabhupada was so much back and forth talking to Padampat Singhania in Kanpur. And he was saying, no, no, first you build a temple, then, but he was needing in money. But he didn't send the money, or government didn't allow to send. But afterwards, he could purchase even the places like Fisher Mansion and George Harrison's this place, what we call it as a Manor, that had become Hare Krishna
Bhaktivedanta
Manor.
Manor.
Yeah, that
Bhaktivedanta
become
Manor.
yeah that become Bhaktivedanta Manor later on. But before that was like George Harrison's property, Harrison Manor. So, like that, these properties they came. Prabhupada wanted and just Krishna sent. Ananyashrintayantamam, Yogakshemam Vahamiham. And Prabhupada needed books to distribute, and Prabhupada inspired the devotees, and devotees got inspired to the life, and they started distributing. Prabhupada wanted Harinam Sankirtan to happen. Prabhupada started Harinam Sankirtan. Prabhupada wanted Juhu land. I had a big fight, but devotees worked hard. Prabhupada also consciously dealt with so nicely, and Juhu land was with Prabhupada. So practically, Prabhupada, whatever Prabhupada wanted, desired, Krishna kept fulfilling, because Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. So that is Prabhupada's wonderful thing. So for us as a devotees in our life, these things are not just the theoretical things in the paper, and they are to be adored. And whatever we will do, we will keep doing practical things. जो भी जमता है करते रहेंगे. No, for us it is a high inspiration and aspiration also. So by getting inspired, we'll slowly get aspire to be at that level one day, and practically try to go 1 mile extra, one step extra from where we are, trying to surrender to the Lord, so that one day we can receive such a wonderful reciprocation from the Lord. Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham. So Prabhupada mentions, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. And he will be completely engaged in the activities of Lord Krishna's chanting, dancing, Navada Bhakti. And these activities are all auspicious. Such devotees as undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. Because whenever they're in difficulty, they will immediately go to the Lord. So, yoga and kshema. Yoga means connecting with the Lord. That is a devotee's efforts to approach to the Lord. And kshema means Lord is merciful in providing the protection. That is Lord's way of dealing. Yoga kshema. And when one becomes fully Krishna consciousness, then Lord Krishna protects him from falling down from a miserable condition of life. So the next verse that will speak about. Okay, anyway, I didn't cover the purport what he says. So yeah, as we discussed here, direct worship of Krishna achieves complete perfection by Krishna's grace. So Krishna says, for those who worship me with exclusive devotion, for them I carry what they lack. Prabhupada, whatever they lack, Prabhupada, Krishna provide to Prabhupada, and I preserve what they have. And Prabhupada was having faith, and of course the Bhagavatam, and that Prabhupada, Krishna protected all the time and propagated it more. So a devotee is a perfect in self-realization because his only desire is to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He always worship with exclusive devotion, unable to live without Krishna even for a moment, and such Krishna conscious activities are all auspicious, full of spiritual potencies. So, yoga implies to the devotee undoubtedly approaches Lord without difficulty and helps the devotee achieve the Krishna consciousness by yoga. And Kshema means when one becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to the miserable condition of life. And such a devotee naturally chanting, dancing, you see here, nice in the sketch, is goes, Krishna takes him back to God, to Goloka Dham. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions that you have mentioned of 3 levels of worship. Uh, and you explained this in elaboration about Vishwatomukham and even the Pratikopasana. So they are prominently worship other devatas. They are also your devotees. So why do they not get liberation? Why they get still stuck up in the material world if they are your devotees and they still worshipping in this way? So then the next verse he elaborates. Ye panya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. So why don't they get liberated from this material world? Because they are doing yajanti avidhi purvakam. Ye panya devata bhakta. Those who are devotees of other gods. Ye api anya devata bhakta. Those who are the devotees, bhakta of anya devata. Yajante shraddhayanvita. They worship them with a full faith. Te api mameva kaunteya. Actually, they are worshipping me only. But yajanti avidhi purvakam. But they do it so wrong way. So Prabhupada gives very nice understanding. The right way of plant uh, to grow is by watering the roots, not to the leaves and the branches. Right way of getting body nourished is to put stomach food in the stomach. So similarly, right way of worshipping the Supreme Lord is to serve Him directly and not to the demigods, mm, who are His representatives, who are helping Him to manage the affairs. And just like uh, while working in the government or with the government officers, giving some bribe to the officers is illegal. Similarly, these demigods are also worshipping or serving the Lord in His universal administration. So, if you are doing it, is it avidhi purvakam? So, question person may get in his mind that how is it, actually demigod worship is given in Vedas only. So, how it is avidhi purvakam? It should be vidhi purvakam only. But when somebody is trying to worship the Lord properly, he is trying to uh, achieve the pure devotional service, and then he gets off track. That is avidhi purvakam. That is going to the avidhi purvakam. So demigod worship without the knowledge of Krishna's supremacy is called avidhi purvakam. So people approach to the higher powers. Uh, Currently, people approach MLA, MP, and some bureaucrats to get their or grants and sanctions. And above them, there are the universal demigods who are managing. And above them is Lord Krishna. So, demigod worship without the knowledge about Krishna, only that he will fulfill my desire, he will fulfill my desire, like that he will think. Then it is avidhi purvakam. So, the Lord shows, sorry, just before going that, let me see if something is remaining. Yeah, yes. So the now the next verse it says all acts are meant for satisfying Krishna only. Mm. So here the Lord shows how they do not follow the proper rule. Mm. Lord is showing that why there is avidhi purvakam, because ahami sarva yagnanam bhokta cha prabhu evacha. So even if they are doing any worship of demigod and they are doing yagya, so yagya is meant for whom? Ahami sarva yagyanam, including all demigod worship also. Bhokta cha prabhu evacha. I am the enjoyer, I am the master. न तो मामपि जानन्ति तत्त्वे नातश्च वन्ति ते. It translates, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature falls down. So, because Krishna is the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices, and those who don't recognize this, that this is the transcendental position of Krishna, he is not among amongst the another. He is the unique, and everybody is supposed to be subordinate. He's asama urdhva. Everybody is below him, including the demigods, like even Lord Shiva and Brahma also. So, but not knowing his transcendental nature, then they bhajanti avajananti, na bhajanti avajananti, sthana drashtat pratanti adha. Then they fall down from this position. That is what Krishna is mentioning here. So, I am the enjoyer, the master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my transcendental nature falls down. So see the all people are sitting and doing yagya, but that yagya is meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Sometimes they forget the goal, then that leads to the wrong understandings. So Krishna says, those who do not recognize my transcendental nature falls down. After a great endeavor to follow Vedas, simply fall down to the material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life because they do not know Krishna as the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. So demigod worshippers, because they don't know that they are supposed to offer to Krishna so properly, they don't get the result of their proper offering also. They don't get full result of their yajna also because ultimately the result of yajna also is given by the Supreme Lord through the demigods. So they are karma sachivas. They are karma sachivas. So final conclusion says that even if one has a material desire, better worship the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Lord Vishnu and he is the ultimate beneficiary. So therefore, uh, if you want to get some uh, thing desire fulfilled, still you should worship the demigods. Demigods are temporary and their worship also is a temporary and they also give the temporary benefits only. Therefore, demigod worship falls down and do not achieve the desired goals in their life. So one should worship Supreme Lord for his final things also. So Baldev Vidyabhushan Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan says, though I actually am in the form of a devata because they do not know that they do not attain me. That is what is stated in this verse. Yanti deva vrata deva pitrun yanti praturvrataha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhya jinopimam. So those who worship demigods go to the demigods planets. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghost will take birth among the ghost. And those who worship me will come to me. There is no birth again. So there are different types of worship and there are different types of destination one achieves. So if somebody is worshipping the Devata, then he will go to the Devalokas, Chandra, Indra, Varuna. And they have all their planets in the Swarga. In that Swarga Loka they will go. But what will happen to the Swarga? Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. And they feel that okay, there are so many ahutis to be offered to the yajnas. So one ahuti, final ahuti we are offering to Krishna. So he's also another place person like a devata, as it's mentioned here. Though I actually am in the form of the devata because they do not know that they do not attain me. So they don't. They see that Krishna is also one of the ahuti to be offered to like others. Then they fail to understand Krishna's transcendental nature. Krishna is a very supreme person. Purna ahuti goes to the supreme Lord. Finally, that is no. Uh, and therefore, those who worship thinking that oh Indra is giving me everything, then they will go to Indra Lok, Devata. Pitrun Nyanti Praturvataha. Those who are worshipping the Pitaras, the forefathers. Some people they are so grateful, so grateful, so grateful that they understand only the forefathers because they have left us so much property, because they have given so many things, but they don't see the connection with the upper from above them. But those who are very much attached, they will go to the Pitruloka. Sometimes in the family they say also no, that uh, grandfather has come like after his death he has come as a grandson in the same family because of that attachment, because of that connection they feel. No? Bhutani anti bhuteja, and those who are worshipping the Pishachas, Bhutas, and they will go to their planet. Yanti Madhyajinopima. And those who worship Supreme Lord directly, they will come back to me. Yanti Madhya Jinopima. Prabhupada very nicely asked, Prabhupada says in the purport, that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planet, or by worshipping the Pishachas achieve the Pita planet, or practicing the black magic, they can go to the ghostly planet. Why can a pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? So people sometimes they say, no, no, you cannot go back to Godhead. It is very difficult. You don't know whether we can go or not. It is not mentioned. But very simple point is states here. Hmm. If by worshipping the other demigods, you can go to their planets. By worshipping Supreme Lord, why will not go to the Supreme planet? So Prabhupada very nicely here mentions in the last uh, purport, last paragraph of the purport. Unfortunately, many people have no information of this sublime planet where Krishna and Vishnu lives, and because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back to Godhead. Mhm. So this is very important aspect of propagating Krishna consciousness, because people in general they don't have this information only. They get stuck up somehow. They got the uh, life, and they got some higher understanding of how to live better life, but they have not got the ultimate understanding of going back to Godhead. Many intelligent people in the society today we meet, they talk about uh, karma kanda very strongly, very powerfully, but they don't connect it to the Supreme Lord. But the acharyas, especially coming in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they teach us very nice, uh, karma kanda, jnana kanda, kevala vishayara bhanda, uh, nana yoni brahmana fire. It says that if somebody is involved in karma kanda, somebody is doing a jnana kanda, so that is only vishaya bhand. That is only poisonous place actually, because nana yoni brahmane fire. He has to keep traveling to the so many different species of life, just because of getting entangled in it. But actually, the soul's eternal relationship is with the Supreme Lord, and is meant to serve the Lord, go back to Godhead. So that is the real destination. So whatever choice one has, he want to accept in his life, uh, accordingly he will attain that particular destination in his life. Of course, the best choice is to serve Supreme Lord Krishna and go back to his place. So now Krishna will tell about how uh, it is easy to worship Krishna exclusively. And he will tell the way of uh, worshipping Krishna, what kind of offering he likes. Uh, Now it is completely very simple verse comes, or very sarala verse comes. Very easy to perform in devotional service. Yeah. यात्पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्ति उपहृत अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः. So patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. So very simple things. It is available everywhere, anywhere, and to anyone, to the simplest of the person and to the richest of the person, to the poorest and the richest, to the weakest and to the strongest. Everybody, these things, four things are available because it's Krishna has given so abundantly these things in the whole creation. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. But he has to do uh, prayaschati, yome bhaktya prayaschati. He has to give to the Supreme Lord, offer it with how? Love and devotion. Then bhakti uprata ashnami. Krishna accepts it. Hmm. Krishna accepts it. So if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. That is simple things. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that who is such a fool? She does not want to be Krishna conscious by simple method and thus attain the highest perfection life of eternity, bliss and knowledge. Hmm. So you have to have simple offering to the Lord, and with the devotion you have to offer it to the Lord, and you get a life of eternity, bliss and knowledge. And who is that fool who will not practicing it? So actually, in life, one's ultimate goal is to develop the best, the highest consciousness, the highest perfection. That is Krishna Bhavana, to develop the Krishna consciousness in one's life. And that is very easily can be done by simple process of bhakti. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. So now Prabhupada also mentions that Krishna has mentioned that he is the enjoyer. He is the primary Lord and real object of all sacrifices. Uh, and he now is revealing what type of sacrifices he desired to be offered. That is Patram Pushpam Phallam Toyam. So simple. Of course, Krishna very clearly mentions uh, simple things, not tamasic things like fish, eggs, and other things. Prabhupada mentions thus the meat, fish, eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offering, he will have to say, he would have said so. Hmm. He would have mentioned it, "No, offer it to me." Instead, he clearly requests that leaf, fruit, flower, water be given to him. And he says, this is offering. I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will accept, he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs, vegetables, but makes meat, fish, and eggs, but he will accept vegetable, fruits, and grains. So, this is a very simple way we see in Mahabharata story. Uh, Krishna went to Hastinapur, and then there the Dhritarashtra he planned along with Duryodhan that we will feed a big sumptuous feast to Krishna. And Krishna said that person can eat in somebody else's house only in two situations. That if he is hungry, he is somewhere out and he doesn't have anything to eat, he will eat it. Or if he has a love for him, then he will eat it. So Krishna did not accept that proposal, but rather than Krishna went to Vidura's house. It is mentioned that Vidura also was not at home also. Yajman is not at home, but Krishna directly went to his house because Vidura was a devotee of the Lord and Lord wanted to have reciprocation with him. And when he went and uh, Vidurani, she became so overwhelmed with the devotion that, my dear Lord, you have come, but I don't have anything to offer. So she made Lord sit and with a love, she just welcomed the Lord with her eyes full of tears and so much of happiness in the heart, so gratitude. And she bought the fruits and she started giving the bananas to the Krishna. And she felt that she has fed so many bananas to Krishna very nicely. And after Krishna went, Vidura comes back. And then she tells that, no, my dear Lord, today Krishna came to our house and I fed so many fruits to him very nicely. See, the peels are lying here. Then when they saw that all bananas are lying there and peels are eaten by Krishna, then they feel so much devotion for Krishna that without even invitation, Lord Krishna came to our house and we couldn't offer him chappan bhog, but he simply took the peels of the bananas and that too with so much gratitude he blessed us. So Vidura and Vidurani were so much into tears by such a amazing reciprocation by Krishna. So whatever we have in our services, we have in our life, we should offer to Krishna. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam does not mean that only give Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam to Krishna. But it's a bhav that I want to offer you everything to the Lord, whatever I have. And so if somebody has more resources, he should offer more gorgeously. Prabhupada says that deity worship should be managed and maintained by the very rich grahasthas, because they can offer nice articles. So the more one has, the more one has to have that attitude that actually I am not the master, master is Krishna. He should offer more to the Lord. Hmm. Therefore, it is said that one should give charity. How much charity you should give? It will pinch little bit. When we pinch, we get little pain. So like that, when we offer that, then we also feel that no, I am not the master. Actually, Krishna is the master. For his pleasure, I am giving. When that consciousness is there, then it becomes very easy to perform the devotional service, to chant the holy name, to render service to the Vaishnavas, thinking that I am actually the servant, Krishna is the master. Yeah, one paragraph I'll just read from this last section of purport. The impersonalist philosopher who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse as of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or a proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one can perform the functions of any other. This is what it means to say the Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the seventh chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entity into the material nature. This is done by his looking upon the nature. And so, in this instance, Krishna is hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuff is wholly identical with the eating and actually tasting. The point should be emphasized because of his absolute position, his hearing is wholly identical with eating and tasting. The only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the absolute, supreme absolute truth can eat food and enjoy it. So the impersonalist, by their limited senses and limited knowledge, they try to see the Lord that how can he accept, how can he have senses, and they see Krishna's character as a mundane character. But based on the Brahma Samhita, Angani Yasya Sakalende Vrittimanti, Prabhupada very clearly tells how the senses of Krishna are very transcendental. Hmm. And because they are transcendental, they are so uh, amazing. Hmm. And by offering that, one gets benefited by Krishna's reciprocation. If somebody says that, here in this verse, it is mentioned two times, Yo me bhaktya prayachati, Yo me bhaktya prayachati. Hmm. Sorry, I just, its comparison is there more. I didn't talk about it, but I'll come to this. Yeah. So, Yo me bhaktya prayachati, it is given more. So, we don't have devotion. Then what to do? So, Krishna gives the further step also. What Krishna says, the next verse. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. So Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So do that as an offering to me. So if you don't have devotion, no problem. Whatever you have, offer it to me. Because uh, the offering is auspicious. This is not the highest. This is not the highest uh, whatever you do, you offer it to Krishna. But This is pleasing to Krishna. At least he's offering to Krishna. He's offering to Krishna. So here it is said, whatever you do. So Nishkam Karma kind of work, no? Whatever he has, you can do it for Krishna, whatever you do, or whatever you do. It appears to be the Nishkam Karma. But it is said it is not Nishkam Karma level also. It's more than that. Mm. Mm. Yeah. It is similar to Karma Yoga because activities are performed, but is superior to Karma Yoga or Nishkar Karma Yoga. Because all activities, even beyond the prescribed duties, are offered to the Lord without a desire. So he doesn't maintain any desire, but he offers everything to Krishna. Whatever prescribed duties are that, and apart from that, whatever he has, therefore, it is more than Nishkam Karma, but it is kind of a Jnana Mishra Bhakti because the person has the knowledge of Atma and Paramatma. But it says not only Jnana Mishra Bhakti, it is superior to Jnana Mishra Bhakti also because it has got abundant appreciation of Lord's personal feature as well. But because consciousness is not always fixed on the Lord, and one does the activities he want to do, then offer to them to Krishna after performing them rather than before. Thus, it cannot be called as Ananya Bhakti. So, Ananya Bhakti, we understand it is with the intention to please the Krishna. Anukallena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Ruttama. So, if somebody is doing certain service for the pleasure of the Lord, that is pure devotional service. But somebody is doing something and then is saying that, okay, everything I offer to Krishna. Because he doesn't have intentions to please a Krishna, therefore it is not a pure devotional service. So therefore, even though he is doing everything for the pleasure, offering to the Krishna, but he does not have that intention before to please the Krishna, therefore it doesn't fall into the category of Ananya Bhakti. It falls in the category of little different than that. And yeah, Prabhupada mentions in the purport that everyone should mold one's life in such a way as not to forget Krishna in any circumstances. Whatever life activities and functions you do, by that all, one should remember Krishna all the time. And in any way, person has to work even to maintain his own body also. Therefore, better work for Krishna. Eat only Krishna prasadam. Do any activities only for Krishna. Give charity. Give to utilize in propagating Krishna consciousness. And do austerities. Uh, Austerity to remember Krishna 24, 24 hours a day. That is the greatest austerity one can do. And what if you don't have love for Krishna? Should I still offer? Yeah, Lord Krishna is in this verses. Whatever you do, offer to me. And what the word bhakti or ashnami is not used in this verse. It is indicated that the principle of offering to Krishna is itself an auspicious. So offer it to Krishna. Hmm. So Srila Prabhupada practically lived this life of whatever he did offer to Krishna, and with intention he offered, therefore it is pure devotional service. He had a only motive to please the Supreme Lord. So if somebody is having such a offering to Krishna, then what are its result is mentioned in this next verse, 28th verse. शुभाशुभ फलैरेवं मोक्षसे कर्म बंधनैः संन्यास योग युक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि संन्यास योग युक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि. So in this way you will freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious result. with your mind fixed on me. In this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So, uh, like if he is giving everything offering to Krishna, then all his work, the activities, yajnas, everything will be purified because we'll get free from the uh, bondage of karmic reaction, or as well as what is auspicious, what is inauspicious, get freed from that also. So, with his mind fixed on this principle, he will develop renunciation also. Hmm. So, sannyasa yoga yuktatma, sannyas and yoga, though both are there. Sannyas from the material world, yoga to the Krishna, connection with the Krishna, and one will be liberated and come back to Krishna. Hmm. So, this is how person will achieve the highest perfection in his approach. Sannyas Yoga Yuktatma. So, Yukta Vairagya is the principle to act in Krishna consciousness under the superior direction, and the fruits are given to Krishna. And when such activities are done with a renounced spirit, then one's mind becomes gradually purified and he makes the spiritual progress and becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord. If somebody is doing Yukta Vairagya, doing activities, but he is not under the direction, nowadays in ISKCON, it's very much adaptable and acceptable because Yukta Vairagya principle is there. So for preachers also, it is very easy to preach the highest principles very nicely. And for people also to accept it becomes very nicely. But to understand Yukta Vairagya principles is very important. So before Yukta, there has to have some Vairagya. So if somebody is doing some activity with Yukta Vairagya, but he is becoming more attached to that activity, then it is binding him more. But he has to done for the pleasure of the Lord, pleasure of Guru. When he's offered that, then his mind becomes more pure. And when his mind becomes more pure, then he becomes gradually advanced in the spiritual realization. And thus, he slowly becomes a very surrendered soul and also becomes a liberated soul. So, what will be the result of acting with the mind fixed on Krishna? Result of acting mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, offering everything to Krishna, as explained in 9.27, he will get liberation and realization of Krishna. Freedom from the bondage to the work and its auspicious and inauspicious results, moksha karma bandhane, and liberation, and one come to the Supreme Lord, vimukti. He will get the liberation, will go back to Godhead. So, meaning of yukta means one who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction. Meaning of yukta vairagya means to perform actions and give the fruits to Krishna. How does this process works? When one is situated in such a renunciation, the following effects are seen. Cleansing happens. Such activities cleanse the mirror of the mind. Progress happens, gradual progress in the spiritual realization. Surrender happens, complete surrender to the Supreme Godhead. Gets liberation, at the end becomes liberated, and finally comes to me. Indicates that Krishna kind of liberation. Not Brahma Jyoti, but going back to Godhead. Uh, and also mentions who is the real sannyasi. A Krishna consciousness person is a real sannyasi because of following characteristics. Nishkam. No other interest but to dedicate life in service of the God. He has servitude, always thinks of himself as the eternal servant of the Lord, and his dependence on Supreme Lord uh, increases more and more, and he goes beyond the Vedic rituals. Does not give serious attention to fruitive activities or ritualistic prescribed ritualistic duties of the Vedas. Prescribed duties are obligatory for an ordinary person, not pure devotee, not pure devotee who is completely engaged in Lord's service. may sometimes appear to be against prescribed duties, but actually it is not so. So Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra Vijnana Bujai. One cannot understand the plan and activities of a pure devotee. A pure devotee is above the all material criticism, just like a Krishna. We hear that famous pastime where uh, we hear that Prabhupada say that gave a strong lecture on that I am. He spoke about four varna and four ashramas, and the people were thinking that Swami is too much boasting about himself. But then when the question was asked, immediately his consciousness came out. He asked, Swamiji, which class you belong to? He said, I am the servant of all four classes. I am fifth, belong to fifth class, like that. So by externally judge things, because he wanted to dispel the ignorance of the people, so he was very strongly speaking the philosophy. But his intention was to serve these people so that they can come closer to Krishna. So we'll stop here for today. If anybody has question, and uh, we can take or we can talk, continue tomorrow. Yes, Prabhu. Kamal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the class. Prabhuji, like in this 22nd verse, Krishna is mentioning for devotees that whatever they have, I preserve, and whatever they lack, I provide.
Yes, Abhishek
So,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, for what things Krishna is saying this, like for material things, for spiritual things, like for what particular things Krishna is mentioning this.
Krishna actually does both, and Krishna does it with the need of a devotee also. So Krishna do protect body also, and Krishna do protect consciousness also. And whichever is needed at that time to bring that devotee closer to Krishna, Krishna will do that. Like in case of Prahlad Maharaj, he protected his body also, and he protected his consciousness also. In case of Vritrasur, he finished his body and he protected his consciousness.
Hmm.
In case of Indra, he protected his body, but he was not so purified enough to understand this thing also, because again, unanness depends on the reciprocation. So in this
Hmm.
way, Krishna is very personal. Just like a mother, she loves all the children, but if she has prepared a nice feast, she may not feed one son or one daughter because of the need of that boy or that girl. Because at that point of time, certain proper treatment is required, certain situation is required. So Krishna is very personal. If somebody is practicing devotional service, Krishna, I heard that Acharya speaks. He said, as soon as person sticks to the process of devotional service, he is not under Maya. He is directly connected by Krishna only. And Krishna takes charge of his life like that. Not at the purified stage, even at the impurified stage also.
So if a devotee is neophyte also, then Krishna take charge of his life also.
Yes, but in that proportion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
For sure. Okay, Prabhuji, one more question. Like when we see this 14 planetary system in hierarchy wise, then
yeah.
in this the earthly planet which is Bhurlok, above that Bhuvarlok is there, which is of ghosts and rakshasas. So, but they are in ignorance. So why like their planets is above the earthly planet?
Yeah. Rakshasas actually are little considered better than the Manushas. Yeah. Surprising little. But they have a higher power. Therefore, no, Rakshasas, they said, human beings, how can they kill? Ravana says, and humans? I don't have to know. Be. excused from that. Uh, so they're considered because of their maybe power. Mm. Of course, if you understand little philosophically, see who's Devata? Vishnu Deva Bhavet Bhakta Asurastad Viparyaya. So they are heavenly people, but they are not aligning with the Lord. Therefore, they are asuras.
Demons.
They are demons. But those who are like human, earthly planets are below. That is Bhoga Yoni. Bhoga Yoni are above. This is Manushya Janma is not Bhoga Yoni. It is the deciding factor. Bhoga Yoni are above. So therefore, they are with that understanding. Bhutas, I don't understand why the Bhutas are above. I'll have to find out.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. So we'll stop for today here. We'll continue discussion tomorrow, 29th once onwards. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।